Cooking safely, yes. Right, yeah. That's my final answer. Cooking safely. I'm terrible.
I'm a straight donation station in Jupiter.
If you're low on cash, call Saw him.
Give us a moment, FP. Give us a moment. Right in the middle.
Go, squeeze.
Can we just please stop saying this a moment ago?
Subtle signs that you're playing with a stick.
A bag? You want me to be intimidated by a fucking bag? What is up, Golf Sickos? Welcome to an absolutely packed Wednesday show of Dan on Golf, presented by Knockaround. As always, my man Ben Boscovich over in the chair. We have a huge program for you guys today. We've got Grant Horvat on the show. We're breaking down golf's longest day. We have a really heartwarming interview with my man Zach, who's living with ALS, but raising a ton of money for the fight against that horrible disease through golf. We've got a little bit with Roger Steele. We've got a little Golf World Cup mashup. The World Cup starts tomorrow. Today is my 3rd wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So smash a like and subscribe for monogamy's sake. We love monogamy on the show.
For Emma.
It's absolutely loaded, but let's start, with Knockaround. So I played golf this morning. It's become a bit of a tradition, a little Wednesday morning, do sweeping round before I come and do the show on Wednesday. Puts me in the right frame of mind. You can ask me how it went.
How'd it go?
It went well. Thank you for asking. I was 3 over through 15 and managed to shoot even par. So some even par rounds feel a lot better than other ones. It was a good finish. It's bright in the mornings, especially, 7 a.m. It's summer. You need the shades. Shades are vitally important, and I never leave home without my knockarounds. These are the love and hates. You got your first pair of Tide Pools.
Yeah, that's right. Check them out.
They look great.
Thank you.
Look great. And you can look great in knockarounds too. They're the best sunglasses for the right price. The best sunglasses for the right price. And a third time, the best sunglasses for the right price. Go to knockaround.com/golf. If you're inclined, if you don't want golf sunglasses, that's fine too. Knockaround has options for everybody. But go to knockaround.com, use the promo code DANONGOLF20. You get 20% off your order. It's summertime. It's bright outside. Get yourself some sunglasses, make them knockarounds. I promise that you will not regret it. Okay. You know how people say that the Masters is a tradition unlike any other?
Heard it.
We got another tradition unlike any other. It's the winner of a tournament withdrawing from a non-signature event immediately after winning said tournament.
Becoming a bit of a custom.
It has been clockwork this year. So this is all just since March, okay? We had Gary Woodland, won in Houston, withdrew from the Valero Texas Open. Aaron Rai won the PGA Championship, withdrew from the CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Wyndham Clark won the CJ Cup Byron Nelson and withdrew from the Charles Schwab Challenge. And then what do you know? JT Poston wins the Memorial and withdraws from the RBC Canadian Open. And Underdog Golf always tweets it, and I always retweet it, and it always bangs. It's become like a fun little Monday thing.
Shout out to Underdog.
It makes sense, though, right? Like, none of these guys, especially the ones that were up there, they weren't all into everything, right? So, the guys who are in the signature events, they make their schedule before the year. The guys who aren't into the signature events, they play all the events that they can to try to get into the signature events. So people forget, Aaron Rai, the week before the PGA Championship, he played the Myrtle Beach Classic because he couldn't get into the Truist at Quail Hollow. And then you win and you're in everything. So it makes total sense, right? You get to pick your schedule. These guys can't play every week. They immediately go, if you win, to the signature event schedule, so you have to rejigger everything. So it makes total sense.
And JT Poston was not yet in the U.S. Open.
Right. Now
or the Open Championship.
Right. So everything changes. So it makes total sense. But it is a little bit funny. Not funny is Marco Penge. So this guy was the best player on the DP World Tour last year, not named Rory McIlroy. He finished second in the race to Dubai. He's 28 years old. He's in his prime. One of the more exciting PGA Tour rookies this year. Crushes the ball. So he moves to the U.S., and it's been just like a bit of a nightmare of a rookie season. So it starts out, his newborn son was in the NICU for 21 days, which is obviously a harrowing situation. I'm glad the son is okay, which is great news. But Penge has been struggling with, it's not actually clear. So that's the problem. So Marco Penge, he withdrew from the U.S. Open. Here's what he had to say. Unfortunately, myself and my team have decided to withdraw from the U.S. Open Championship. Gutted to have to withdraw from a major, but my health is the number one. We still haven't got to the root cause of my health issues after having scans and seeing several specialists. I'm starting to feel better compared to the PGA Championship, and we are getting a lot closer after ruling things out. I just need more time to get things right. Thank you for your support, as always. I should be back soon. That stinks.
Yeah.
That stinks. So we hope that Marco Penge gets well. Obviously, health is the most important. Okay, speaking of the U.S. Open, golf's longest day. So did a little stream on Monday going through the guys who had qualified. We were still waiting to see what happened on the West Coast. That was a little all over the place because some of them were still going on. Now we know. We know the 43 players who got through the 10 final qualifying sites on golf's longest day and booked tee times at Shinnecock. So let's go through them. We will start in New York at Century and Golf Club Purchase. So Kevin Roy got through. He's currently 86th in the FedEx Cup. Max Grazerman, currently 84th in the FedEx Cup. He's got 5 second-place finishes. He's a New Jersey guy. This was in New York. Obviously, the U.S. Open's in New York, so sort of a home game. Ben James, who won PGA Tour U, Virginia senior. He's making his tour debut as a member and as a professional this week in Canada. So he goes Canada right into the U.S. Open. Great opportunity to get some big points. And then James Nicholas. We've had him on the show, huge on social media. I think he's 15th in the Korn Ferry standings. He won the Korn Ferry Tour this year. He made the cut at Oakmont. Also a New York guy. So a great effort from James Nicholas. Moving to Gaston Country Club in North Carolina. Jackson Ormond. So this guy, I should say this kid, just graduated high school. He's from Rochester, so shout out Alex Bush.
Okay.
He's going to Florida, so shout out Coach Deacon. And he was co-medalist. He shot 65-63 on Monday. He was scheduled to play in a AJGA event on Tuesday, and unlike all the tour pros, he did not withdraw, and he shot 64 in the first round. So he is absolutely balling. Carl Yuan qualified, 29-year-old from China. He's playing mostly the Korn Ferry Tour this year. Jackson Van Paris, young lad out of Vanderbilt, also playing the Korn Ferry Tour. He's missed the cut in the last 4 Korn Ferry events. Now I get a chance at a U.S. Open. Also, I'm going to say this. I didn't say this. I'm going to get through this more. The PGA Championship might have the strongest field of the year of the majors. The U.S. Open has the sickest field.
Sickest field,
It's got the most sicko and sickest field because they find a way to get, like, if you're an amateur and you're hot, you get in. If you're a guy who, like JB Holmes, who qualified, we'll get to in a bit, who hasn't played golf tournaments like in years, he's in. Jackson Coyven, the #1 amateur in the world, he's in. So the U.S. Open has the sickest field.
It can be a Monday sesh of remembering some guys.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So let's run through some more of the guys who got in. Okay. Brandon Wu. So he went to Stanford. He's played on tour before. Now he's back on the Korn Ferry Tour. And then Cole Hammer. This kid was a phenom at Texas. He's been kind of stuck on the Korn Ferry level. I think he's 26, somewhere around there on the Korn Ferry Tour. So big summer needed for him to get to the PGA Tour. Springfield Country Club in Ohio. Our man, Neil Shipley. Where's my applause? It's been a rough rookie season for Neil Shipley. He keeps missing cuts by like 1 or 2 shots. He's only made the cut in 3 of 13 events, but we never lost faith. And huge opportunity to change everything in the U.S. Open. He's also in the field this week in Canada. So maybe this gives us a little momentum, and maybe we'll have a time to talk to him later.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Usually not.
It's a busy time. Zach Blair. So Zach Blair, maybe from the Tree Farm. He built that golf course. He's huge into architecture and has built an incredible course. He's splitting his time between the Korn Ferry Tour and the PGA Tour. He loves Springfield. He has made it through Springfield 3 straight years, and in 9 tries, he's made it 4 times. When you consider that it's like 6 spots for 80 players, it's a pretty incredible rate.
Man.
Dylan Wu, Northwestern Zone, he's also been kind of oscillating between the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour. Billy Horschel has played 377 times on the PGA Tour with 8 victories and $42 million in career earnings, but he had to earn that shit on Monday.
I tell you who's happy about that?
Who?
Ralph Lauren.
Yeah?
If they didn't have Billy Ho in there, it was just Zach Johnson out there repping the RLX.
All right, well, there you go. That's our little fashion.
There you go.
Our fashion consigliere. And then Nick Hardy, who's played on the PGA Tour, he's now back on the Korn Ferry Tour. Captain Brant Snedeker has been playing some good golf. He is the first alternate. Tony Finau missed it at that site by a few. Wait, I'm getting something in my ear. Can we make some time?
Sure.
Okay,
Neil
my
Shipley.
time. We have Neil Shipley. Let's hear from Neil Shipley.
Wow.
What's up, you sickos? Neil Shipley here. Fresh off qualifying for the U.S. Open. At the Canadian Open now, getting ready for an important week, but just super pumped for the opportunity next week, and a great way to hopefully get our year back on track. Not our best start to the year, for y'all following along, but good opportunity to turn it around and get some big points and big money for to keep our card for next year. Hope everyone's doing well, and Dan, thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome, Neil. Thank you for coming on. It's nice to hear from him.
Wow, yeah, it is nice to hear.
Sometimes we just don't have time, but today we did.
Glad we made time for
Glad we made time for him. Okay, the other Ohio site, Davis Thompson was the medalist. He is a PGA Tour winner. This was in Westerville, Ohio. And then JB Holmes, I think he's played 1 event, at least that I could find on the PGA Tour website, since the beginning of 2025.
I didn't even recognize him.
He's played 0 Korn Ferry events like ever, I think. So that's a blast from the past for sure. And then Vaughn Harbour, he just finished up his sophomore year at Ohio State. He was outside the top 300 in the college golf rankings, but he's into the United States Open. How beautiful is the United States Open? And then Arne Svensson. We talk about the Scandinavian invasion that's happening in world golf. Iceland. He is from Iceland. I looked it up. I said, is he the first player to play in a U.S. Open from Iceland? No. Yes, he is.
He is.
He's not the first to play in a major championship.
Yeah.
Someone played in the 2018 Open Championship, but he is the first man from Iceland to play in the U.S. Open. He goes to LSU. He's a stud. Okay, moving to Canada, north of the border, Lambton Golf and Country Club, Emiliano Grillo. He's a former PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. Got through, his mainstay on the PGA Tour. So did William Mao, who's 118th in the FedEx Cup standings right now. Alejandro Tosti, I'm really excited for this one. He's a wild boy, as we know. And the U.S. Open famously torments people.
Yeah.
So there's some firework potential there. You know, we could see something crazy. I'm just saying the ingredients are there for Toasty to, let his feelings show on the hallowed ground.
Getting toasty.
In New York. John Perry. So this is a 39-year-old Englishman. He got his tour card from the DP World Tour. He's very quietly made 13 of 14 cuts this year. He's only 93rd in the FedEx because he's not playing in the big events and he hasn't had those top-level finishes. But he's having a very solid season so far. Marcelo Rozo, 36-year-old from Colombia. He is not having a good season, but opportunity to turn things around. And then Max McGreevy is currently 116th in the FedEx Cup. But one of the big stories of the day is the guys who didn't make it here. So there was a big playoff. There was an 8-for-3 playoff. Matt Wallace missed it, who I feel like he's golf's almost man.
Yeah.
I feel like with the Ryder Cup, we saw the emotion last year. It just feels like he's been close a lot of times. And so did Max Homa. Max Homa was in the playoff. He made kind of a silly bogey on the first playoff hole. And then Adam Svensson, did you see this?
I was watching the playoff, yeah.
So you saw he picked up his marker.
Yeah.
So he picked up his marker because he knew he wasn't in the U.S. Open anymore. The problem is how you finish determines who the alternate is.
Yeah.
So he gave up the first alternate spot. And that could, the alternates sometimes get into the tournament. So not his best. Not his
Non-zero
best.
chance.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking straight. It was the end of a 36-hole day. More. It was 37 holes, whatever he played after the playoff, and his brain was probably a little bit fried.
You always have somebody in your ear saying, okay, now this one's for this and this one's for this.
Right.
I guess the caddy could have that.
He was just pissed, probably, and that happens. Okay, Woodmont Country Club in Maryland. Jackson Suber was the medalist, 107th in the FedEx Cup. Ben Coles. So Ben Coles won the Korn Ferry event on Sunday. He got his ass to Maryland and went and qualified for the United States Open.
Baller.
Stay hot, Ben. Logan Riley would just finished up his freshman year at Auburn. They won the national championship, and now he's into the U.S. Open, so hell of a little month stretch there for young Logan Riley. And then Jake Solon, PGA Tour America's player, gets a chance to play the U.S. Open. He beat someone, I can't remember who, in a playoff. He hit it to this far in the playoff and tapped in to get into the U.S. Open. Blades Brown is second alternate. Kid the amount of golf this guy's played this year is out of control.
He also had the most positive vibe missing, Blades Brown.
Was he? I didn't see.
I was watching some highlights and it just seemed like he might have made it. I was like, wait, did he miss it?
Yeah.
He looks too
He's got a smile on his face. All right, moving south to Hawks Ridge. Well, that's not how you say the word ridge. Hawks Ridge Golf Club in Ball Ground, Georgia. Chris Kirk is a tour player. This is a full-time
A lot
flusher.
of smooth swingers on this list.
6-time winner on the PGA Tour. He was the medalist. Jake Peacock also plays on the PGA Tour Americas. You have to think that next week at the U.S. Open, he might get some early round coverage on Peacock.
If they're smart.
If they're smart. Kashmir Keith Mitchell is 67th in FedEx Cup, mainstay on the PGA Tour. Robbie Higgins having a little bit of a rough year, 157th on the Korn Ferry Tour, but he is into the United States Open. And then Chase Keys, I think it's pronounced Keys. So he just finished his freshman year at Tennessee. He got through, and in the interview, they said, what are you expecting at the U.S. Open next week at Shinnecock? And he said, I had no idea it was next week. These kids just play golf, and they just count them up at the end and then see what happens.
What's my tee time and what's the course record?
Where's the first tee and what's the course record? All right, Emerald Valley Golf Club in Cresswell, Oregon. Grayson Leach, another PGA Tour America's guy. He's an Oregon grad, so familiar with the Oregon terrain. He gets through. And then Andrew Putnam, who's having a good year, 57th in the FedEx Cup. They had a 9-hole playoff. They had to come back Tuesday morning.
Oh, really?
Play 36 holes, only 2 spots in this qualifier in Oregon. He plays 36 holes. He's tied with another guy, and they go 9 holes in the playoffs. So we had to play 45 holes to qualify for the United States Open. Talk about earning your.
And he ran out of daylight and had to come back.
The next day at Del Paso Country Club, which is the site of my caddying felony. We've talked about this before. I've told the story. I'm not going to tell it again. But I saw that name and I said, "Oh my God!" I got a rush of emotion. Bunch of amateurs and Taylor Montgomery. So Taylor Montgomery, one of the best putters. Remember, he won the major league putting title or the mini golf. He won $1 million in a putting competition.
Really?
I remember that. Yeah, you should look it up. He's been back and forth PGA Tour, Korn Ferry Tour. Eric Lee, who goes to Oklahoma State. He was part of the national championship winning team last year. Matthew Robles, who plays for Santa Clara. He's 426th in the world amateur ranking. And then Marek Fleming, who plays for South Carolina. And then finishing it off, the juniors showed out in a huge way in Florida. The top 2 juniors in the country both were in the field, and they both got through. So number 2 junior, Giuseppe Puebla, He's going to Florida. He was co-medalist, which is sick. Longtime journeyman PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour player Ben Silverman got in. Ryder Cowan, who plays for Oklahoma, he's a good college player, he got in. And then Miles Russell with Charlie on the bag. He's the #1 junior in the damn world. He's a top 10 amateur in the world. He will be playing in the United States Open, his first major championship, and Charlie Woods was on his bag. And now the question is, does Charlie caddy for him in the United States Open?
Chuck on the bag.
We talk a lot about, don't compare him to Tiger, right? With Tiger, you know what Tiger's never done? Caddied in the US Open.
Yeah.
What a day for Miles Russell with Charlie on the bag. Miles said he loved having Charlie on the bag, so I think he's got to roll with it. You can't, if the golf's longest day, you go 36 holes and then you make it. I mean, unless Charlie's a tournament, you can't cut him off at that point. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you cut him off anyway.
Yeah.
You need that box office element.
It is very box office. All right, so that is the recap of golf's longest day. That was fun. I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, no more Rocket Don't Say Mortgage Classic. Detroit, you were just talking about Detroit.
I know. I kind of accidentally manifested that one. Yeah.
This. So the Rocket Classic will be contested for the final time this year with Rocket Don't Say Mortgage electing not to renew as a sponsor following this year's event, following a 13-year run as title sponsor and 8 years in Detroit. The move comes amidst weak fields and poor attendance. So it was kind of mean, that last sentence. Felt like, we kind of understood that without the last
implication.
Without the last sentence. But yeah, I mean, things are changing. Certain markets are going to get PGA Tour events, and certain markets are going to lose PGA Tour events.
I think what I said was that the Rocket Don't Say Mortgage Classic had like an identity more than its contemporaries in that level of PGA Tour tournament, and that I hoped that maybe it could be retained in some way in the future. But,
yeah.
I guess not.
I guess not is right. The United States Women's Open, the ratings were very good. Not a surprise.
Yeah.
Second highest since 2014, over 2 million at the peak. A 78% increase from last year. I mean, they couldn't have drawn it up any better. I actually thought maybe the ratings would be a little higher. I mean, it's a great number, but when they couldn't draw it up. You have Riviera, you have Primetime, you have Nelly Korda, you have Charlie Hull.
It goes back to what you said on Monday about picking these golf courses and setting this stuff up.
Correct. And yeah, whether not that many people on site, was the rating still great? Yes. And is this a TV product? Yes. Okay, so Scott O'Neill went on CNBC, Fast Money I think it's called, to talk about the future of LIV Golf. And he painted a rosy picture, as he has to do. He's raising money, and you have to be. People don't want to give money to someone who's like, it's just going well. They want someone with energy. So he had the game face on, and he was talking about how the interest is strong, and they're looking to raise $300 million. And he acknowledged that it's not going to be the same purses moving forward. But with all these reports coming out recently that LIV might not even have funding for the rest of their events. They have a 47-day break, and then they have 4 more events, I believe, for the rest of the year. He was asked the question point blank. Now, I would love to be able to show this to you, but unfortunately, there's something called media rights, and I can't show it to you. So Ben and I are going to reenact the meaty part of this interview. So let's get the graphic up. Imagine that we are in a different setting, and ask me the question, Ben.
I mean, can you guarantee today that the 4 tournaments remaining on your schedule will actually take place?
What I can guarantee is a heck of a return if you come and invest in this business. Okay, that was our reenact.
That was it.
I thought that went really well. We were kind of nervous about that, but I think it went really well. He didn't say yes. I feel like it would have been really easy to say yes.
Yeah. Or we're working really hard to make sure that happens. It's our #1 priority. We're looking forward to what's the next LIV event.
But even that would be a no. Unfortunately, and this is, I like when these leaders of big organizations in golf go on interview shows that aren't so inside golf, because the interviewer is just going to ask the question. He's just going to be like, are these happening? And that was a binary question. It was a yes or no question, and that was a no.
This is more of a business story now than it is a golf story.
Correct. They're trying to raise $350 million. They're talking about family offices. They're talking about private equity. That guy's probably working nonstop, but he's probably getting paid very well. But he's probably working nonstop.
It was a little too much like a soundboard button. Like they programmed that response.
Well, he knew it was coming. They're in money raising mode. They're in sell mode. So that's what he has to do. All right, let's move into Mind Your Manners. Couple moves from the PGA Tour that I really like. So the PGA Tour is getting into the Australia business, and it's a long time overdue. So the PGA Tour announced a partnership with Golf Australia to support the Australian Open. So that will see the tournament have its own date. It's gone against the Hero World Challenge in the past, and they're going to pump money into the prize fund. Now, let's hope that the best players in the world make the pilgrimage. I think a good number will. Look, the Australian Open dates back to 1904 and has been won by the likes of Jack Nicklaus, won it 6 times.
Wow.
Played it all the time. Arnold Palmer, Peter Thompson, Greg Norman, Tom Watson, Gary Player, Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth. It's one of the oldest and proudest tournaments in the world, and Australia has an incredible golf culture. The fans turn out. The golf courses are amazing. This tournament was at Royal Melbourne last year. It was at Kingston Heath the year before that. Maybe the 2 best courses in all of Australia. This is a great move. It's a great move by the PGA Tour, minding its manners for the history of the game, because one of the things that LIV has done is it has highlighted that there are markets outside of this great country, outside of these United States, that are hungry for world-class golf and will turn up for world-class golf, and the chief among those is Australia. We've seen the LIV Adelaide event, their best event in terms of golf course, in terms of atmosphere, in terms of crowd. The PGA Tour, the Australian Open, is a sleeping giant. Let's wake it up. Let's get the best players in the world. December, Australia. Sounds like a great idea, you know? Scotty Scheffler, I know you don't like to play outside the United States. Go get yourself an
If you go, we'll go. How about that?
If Scotty goes,
if
we're
Scotty
going.
goes, we'll go.
Is that you can, you're my boss, remember? You control the budget, so.
Yeah, if Scotty goes, we're going.
Okay. And speaking of which, it's not the only great manners move. So Josh Carpenter, who's our schedule guy, he dropped the news that the PGA Tour is no longer married to having the title sponsor be the name of the tournament. So like Cognizant Classic or Genesis Invitational. In the future, it might be something like the Seattle Open presented by Amazon, or the Charles Schwab Colonial, where they have the name of the course in the title. I like this a lot. This is leaning into the history of the tour and the host venues. Think about great tournaments on the PGA Tour, the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard. Let's get back to that. You know, there's new leadership. They're starting fresh. They want these tournaments to feel part of history, to feel like continuity, not have to change their name every 5 years because some chief marketing officer decides that they don't want to be in golf anymore. So, and we also won't get the silly stats like when they say, oh, Ben Hogan won the Genesis Invitational 4 times. Like, no, he didn't.
He did not.
He won the LA Open. So let's have the name of the tournament be consistent, and the sponsor is like a little thing on the side rather than the sponsor just being the name. And obviously that might be a different price point. The PGA Tour's raised a bunch of money. There's a new media rights coming up. I think all of this stuff is up for play. So mind your manners. Mind your manners for the history of the game. Australian Open, bring it back, and like LA Open. That should be the name.
You know who's going to love this? Our friend Alan Shipnuck.
He loves
still refers to all that stuff as LA Open.
And speaking of minding your manners, we are giving you good manners because we have a promo code for you. So if you go to mannersgolf.com, like we said, it's summertime. They have the summer collection. I've been recommending Manners to all my friends and family. They say, I love these clothes. I like your hat. I like my sweater. Mannersgolf.com. Use the promo code DOG15 and you get 15% off your order. That's significant. DOG15, 15% off your order. All right, I'm excited for this one. I got a DM from a gentleman named Zangl a couple months ago, and he said, I'm a huge fan of the show, and I'm a golf sicko living with ALS, and we have this incredible event that we are putting on to raise money for the fight against ALS, which, as he said, he doesn't believe it's uncurable. He just believes it's underfunded. Now, this is, Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a nasty disease. My great uncle passed away from ALS, and it's really difficult thing to even talk about because of how brutal it is. But Zach has an incredible attitude and incredible optimism, and there's an incredible event happening in the Northeast next week. So here I am with Zach Zangl. All right, we are joined by Zach Zangl. I get some DMs from the Dan on Golf account for people who are interested in kind of getting their message out there, but yours immediately jumped out to me, and I'm so happy to have you on the show. So next week, if I am not mistaken, next week is the ALS 100. You are the Chief Inspiration Officer, which is an epic title, of the ALS 100. So tell us a little bit about the organization and the events next week.
Yeah, so thanks, Dan, so much for having me on. It was awesome that you responded, and the message of the charity reverberated with you. But I am an affected individual living with ALS, also commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And what the ALS 100 is about is using golf to bring much needed fundraising and awareness to this cause. At this time, ALS does not have a cure, and it is our belief that it is not uncurable, but that it is underfunded. And so we are thrilled to have this event. Takes place over 2 days next week in Connecticut. The signature event and how this all started takes place on Tuesday with 32 16-man teams of 2 and some gals playing 100 holes, which for anyone on your show, biting off 36 with a cart in a single day is normally a lot, and they're all going to play 100 holes. And that takes place right outside of Hartford at Keeney Park Golf Course. So we're thrilled to have them as a host for us, and we're in year 4. They have raised over $1 million to date. This year, we have already exceeded our fundraising goal of $625,000 and moved the needle up to $800,000. A huge part of that has come with my involvement. I was lucky to be introduced to Corey Sullivan and Alex Litt, the founders of the event, who both lost their father and played in the inaugural ALS 100 4 years ago by a woman at ALS TDI, one of our principal beneficiaries of the charity. And one of the things they did when they brought me on board is we added a sponsor's invitational. And so everyone involved went out, and we were able to get an epic amount of sponsors that we actually sold out spots in the Monday event. And that has been a huge driver for us, and we're just so excited to get everybody together at Country Club of New Canaan for that event on the Monday, and then pivot to the 100 holes on Tuesday. It is just a group of folks intimately impacted by ALS who are playing in the 100 holes. I, unfortunately, am on the IR right now from playing golf, so I have my best friend and my best man playing as one of my representatives, and also my younger brother, Wyatt. So it's people coming out to show up for each other, and a really cool event.
So how did you meet Alex and Corey? How did you get involved?
So when I was diagnosed in August of 2024 through our network of family and friends, I was introduced to the VP of development at ALS TDI, Carol Hamilton. And she has really been an unbelievable sounding board and spirit guide through the ALS world. And I think the stars aligned that around that same time, she became aware of Corey and Alex's effort with the ALS 100, and knowing my passion for golf and their passion for golf and wanting to grow the event, it became a natural fit. My firm was one of the sponsors last year. Stone Peak is an infrastructure PE firm. And from there, I also got to play golf with Corey before he relocated up to Connecticut, and it was an instant fit. Golf is one of these really small, big communities, and, you show up on the first tee, people have the logo game going on. Before you know it, 4 or 5 people in common, and you go out and you just have a great walk with friends. And so we hit it off personally first, and then Corey and Alex got together and reached out and asked if I would like to join the board and serve as Chief Inspiration Officer, which was and is an incredible honor to be able to represent, those of us living with the disease, trying to make an impact for everyone across the affected, the families and caregivers, the research community. It's just been an unreal honor, and that's a little bit about how we came together.
So I know you're a self-proclaimed golf sicko. You
Yes.
reached out, you called yourself that. We've been kind of going back and forth on some different stuff. What has golf meant for you throughout your battle with this disease?
You know, for me, it has always served as, a release and something you could go out and you're not only having fun with friends, but you're able to challenge yourself. Golf teaches you all sorts about the unfair knocks in life as you get pummeled with those through tournament golf and friendly rounds and things go awry. But golf has really been a gateway where I have been able to pivot from, the physical satisfaction of being out on the course and hitting shots to using it as a mechanism, to make a difference. While I'm not able to currently play, I'm still really able to enjoy being on the golf course, to watch my two boys get passionate about the game and hit shots, and to be involved in a charity like this that connects, my favorite sport hobby with making a difference for the broader community.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a message to our listeners and our viewers now. You don't get angry on the golf course, because Zach would do anything to be able to still play golf right now. And so you're just so lucky to be out there, everybody, and just enjoy it for what it is. It's an incredible walk with friends, and it's incredible time outside. Zach, I want to thank you so much for joining the show. I also want to, I'm going to make a donation. I'm going to make a donation on the, on behalf of the entire dog team. We're going to donate $1,000 to the cause.
Wow.
So just send me whatever information, or I don't know if I can do it online, but
I will
I've been
send you that info right away, Dan.
Yeah, I've been really inspired by corresponding with you. I'm looking forward to seeing the event next week, and let's stay in touch, my friend.
Will do. And thank you for everything you're doing for the golf world. I think you have an awesome view and feel for things, and I really enjoy everything you're doing to promote the game and bring more awareness in your own way. And thanks for wearing all of our gear. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
I love that guy. I love the cause. ALS 100 Tuesday next week. We'll be keeping an eye out for it, and I hope I can in the future play in one of those events.
That was awesome, Dan. Thanks for doing that.
Of
It was cool to see. Just like we experience a lot of commenting online, and there's a golf sicko right there, like a real person that we reach, and that it was cool to hear.
It's awesome that he enjoys our program and that we can do something nice for them. Just really, everyone it puts things in perspective. Every day is a gift, especially every day on the golf course. All right, we're gonna move topics. It's always a little bit, it's tough to move on from something like that, but we are. So the World Cup starts tomorrow. I am beyond excited. So 2 games tomorrow, 2 games on Friday, and then I'm going to the USA Turkey game 2 weeks from tomorrow. So super stoked for that. There's starting on Saturday. There's for 15 straight days. There's 4 games a day, 9 a.m. Here on the West Coast, noon, 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. So you really couldn't script it any better. So it got us thinking, right? What can we do? Golf, and I got to give a shout out to the guy Niall. He's one of our viewers who actually gave us this idea. We're gonna do a starting 11 of golfers. If I had to choose a team, we're calling this team the Dogs, obviously. Yeah. Who would I want out there? Now, I don't know if these guys actually play soccer. I'm going more on vibes and body type. So we're going to start in goal. We're going to start with Jean Rahm. Yeah, he's got keeper energy. You know what I mean? He's a big guy. I feel like keepers need to be a little psycho. He's got that gear. And he's got a son named Kepa, which is a Spanish goalkeeper. So it's a natural fit. Okay. My right back, I'm going with, from Chile, Joaquin Niemann. He's rangy. He's athletic. I want my right back up and down. I want them overlapping fullbacks. He's right in his prime, 27 years old. We're going with Niemann at right back. Right center back, we're going with Ryan Fox from New Zealand. He's got an athletic heritage. His dad, Grant Fox, one of the great All Blacks. He's a big lad, not afraid to get stuck into a tackle. So my right center back is Ryan Fox. My left center back, I'm going with Tony Finau. Don't know if he's ever played soccer in his life. Probably haven't. But he's got a hell of a body to be a center back. He's also going to be the captain. I like my center back, big center back, to be the captain of the team. So my left center back, we're going with Tony Finau. My left back, Brian Harman. He's left-footed. He's tenacious. He's scrappy. I want him to give the other team's winger an absolute nightmare.
Is there a strategy to having like the tallest guy on the team and the shortest guy on the team on your left side there?
No, not necessarily, but sometimes if you're going to have small guys, typically they play on the outside of the field because the middle guys, they have to win balls in the air. So
That's an earnest question. I don't know anything about strategy.
All right, my 2 center mids. We're going all English here. Alex Fitzpatrick, huge Sheffield United fan. I wanted to put one of the Fitzpatrick boys in there because I know they're massive on football. Alex is a little younger, and Alex, he's a little bit stockier. I like the build more for soccer, so we're going with Alex Fitzpatrick. My other center mid, I'm going with Aaron Rye of Wolverhampton. Now, I don't know, again, if he's ever played before, but I love his attitude. I feel like he might be like a metronome in there, a tempo setter. Not everybody can be a psycho out there. I play a 4-2-3-1, by the way. That's my formation.
Okay.
So my right wing, I'm going with Rasmus Niergaard Petersen from Denmark. He's skinny. He can run for days, I would imagine. I don't know at all. He might not be able to run at all. He's a big Arsenal fan. Hopefully he's better than Bukayo Saka. My number 10 is Victor Hovland. Very high on Norway this year. They have a great team. Victor's also in his prime. I feel like he's got a number 10 kind of energy, setting up plays. He's a very curious guy. He's going down different rabbit holes. I feel like that would lend itself well to being a creative number 10. I don't know why. My left wing is Jake Knapp. He's an athlete. He's going to run at your defense and give the defenders absolute nightmares, and I've got a song for him. Your defense is terrified, Jake Knapp's on fire. Your defense is terrified,
Jake Knapp's on fire.
Whoo! Da, 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 da. Okay, and then up top, our talisman, our best player.
I was going to ask you which position gets the best player.
Up top, our best player from Sweden, Ludvig Åberg.
Yeah.
26 years old, loves football. I need him banging in the goals, And I have a song for him too. Ready?
Yeah.
Ludvig Noah Åberg, he is a Swedish hero. Texas Tech to Ryder Cup, his major count is 0. 6'3", hard as fuck, he gets the dogs excited. Stick Liverpool up your ass cause we are Man United.
Oh man, that's so good.
It's because there's a Zlatan song when he was on Man United, the same tune, the Yankee.
I remember that one.
And I have to say,
support Manchester United.
I just have to get that in there, so.
I was surprised you put a Liverpool guy.
Yeah,
top of your
Ludwig. There's a lot on Ludwig's shoulders. He's got to be banging in the goals for us. So here's our lineup: in goal, John Rahm; right back, Joaquin Neiman; center backs, Ryan Fox, Tony Finau; left back, Brian Harmon; 2 center mids, Alex Fitzpatrick, Aaron Rye; my right winger, Rasmus Niergaard Petersen; my center attacking midfielder is Victor Hovland; my left winger is Jake Knapp; and up top, banging in the goals, we've got Ludvig Åberg.
Dan, I'm not just saying this. Those songs are really good. They're like professional grade.
Well, I mean,
European
there's the templates exist. So there's
Yeah.
a famous one, Will Griggs on fire, your defense, and Jake Knapp fits in there. So I came up with those this morning. I appreciate it.
Well done.
All right, Ben, we've been talking a little bit recently about the Travelers Championship. It's
Sure
the
have.
week after the United States Open. It's coming up, and I wanted to talk about their 15.5 challenge. It's a competition in the name of charity where participants have 15.5 minutes to attempt to make a hole-in-one or land closest to the pin on the signature floating umbrella hole. It is tiny.
Yeah.
It's a hard shot.
We
They're
saw
gonna
this
have,
thing.
They're going to have 15.5 minutes. They can go rapid fire. They can do whatever they want. We caught up with 3 participating golf content creators after their practice sessions, Tisha Alin, Roger Steele, and Josh Kelly, to see how they're preparing. Here's my conversation with Roger Steele.
All right, we're here with Roger Steele, the head of the Travelers 15.5 hole challenge. How are we preparing for this?
I mean, we need to be repping our wedges more anyway. So I feel like this is in alignment with my broader golf goals.
Okay.
But now that I've kind of gotten in the mindset of aim small, miss small, I'm just really dialing in on the technique. And I'm really going to implement a lot of the wedge findings that I'm having, like, weight distribution, tempo. I'm carrying that throughout the game to become a comprehensively better wedge player. So I'm really dialing it. 2026 is now the year of the wedge.
Well, I feel like 2025 for you might have been the year of the driver.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching you hit driver and you got like up 190 ball speed.
Yeah.
But you got to have the off-speed stuff too.
You do. And I find that it's way more important to be able to control these around the green than it is to get yourself close to the green. At least that's what I'm finding. Keeping a golf ball on the course is
Very important.
very important.
Yeah.
Way more important than how fast. Because you know what? Hitting the ball crooked and fast is a very painful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to walk really far.
and then just watching it for that long.
Yeah.
You really tag one and you know what's going out of bounds. You have to watch it for the whole time just to make sure, and it's a painful thing. So I feel like with implementing wedge technique in the driver setup, get the weight a little bit more forward, stay more on top of the ball, try to mellow out the tempo. Maybe that'll just, make me a better player overall. So
I know you've gotten lessons before. I've gotten lessons. It's a little bit different when there's PGA TOUR winners who are watching you hit balls. What was that experience like? You feel a little pressure?
I felt a little twitchy at impact. probably because I carry a bit too much respect for those guys. I know that they're the best in the world, and I know that I look up to them and idolize them in a lot of ways. But they're still humans. They're still humans. But yeah, having Ricky and Chris down there, I felt myself twitch a little bit, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I go out here and win this the 15.5 challenge, I do feel like I could redeem myself and take that back to him. Like, hey man, look at from where we came. Look how far we came.
But I know it's going to be broadcast live, so there's going to be a lot more than just Chris and Ricky watching. How are we going to handle that pressure?
You know what? I do a pretty good job of self-deprecation online.
Okay.
So if the unthinkable happens, and I'm talking about the S word now. If
I can't believe you just brought it in the conversation.
Yeah, somebody's gonna hit one.
It's not going to be you, hopefully.
But if it is me, like self-deprecation is a love language of mine. So I do feel like I'll be able to back off of the scrutiny that I find, after the fact by just telling a few lighthearted jokes and just explaining myself in a vulnerable way. So if I need to go there, I hope that I don't have to go there, but if I need to go there, I can.
So no tour pro has hit a hole-in-one. Do you believe you could be the first?
I've had a lot of good opportunities and a lot of good showings in big moments.
You have?
I had, sometimes I could just step up. I don't know where it comes from, but right circumstances, right light, right energy, right food. I'm a different guy, So when I hear things like there's no hole-in-ones at 15.5, why not me?
Yeah.
Why not me?
No, I can't find, I've been looking for reasons all day and I can't find one. So did I hear you say your family's going to be out there?
Yeah.
You can't disappoint your family.
I know, and I struggle with that a little bit too. Sometimes I look into my daughter's eyes, I got 2 of them now, and I'm just like, man, I'll do anything to provide for you all. And do I want to be a failure in front of my kids? And sometimes that could make me rise to the occasion, but sometimes that makes small moments feel too big. And so I'm trying to kind of stuck in the middle of where I land on how the family influences.
You got a lot going on up here.
Yeah. That was Ricky and Chris down there, dog.
Those are two real players.
That was big.
So we're in the clips business a little bit, you and I, and if you win this, there's going to be a lot of eyes on your celebration. Have you thought about what you might do?
Nah, I think that, if Josh Kelly is hitting after me, I may run over and bump him and make him celebrate with me. Like if I hold,
it's a mind game.
Like force the celebration on him, And so I'm kind of looking forward to going second. If somebody does something crazy in front of me, holds out, it's good that I know what I have to do. If I get the opportunity and I'm in the middle, I think that I'm forcing my opponents to celebrate with me and making them be a part of my success, a part of my moment.
Yeah, it's Machiavellian, but I think I like it.
Yeah, but that's, just really roping them into the experience,
Yeah, don't give them a choice.
Yeah, don't give them a choice. Or make it super awkward.
Yeah, super awkward is always a good strategy. So the Travelers Championship, one of the biggest and best tournaments on the PGA Tour. When you watch tour players up close, what do you notice most?
The intention in the pre-shot routines, the consistency. I really applaud how they're able to keep the tempo going from, walk, from green to tee, how they walk into shots, like the speed at which they look at targets, waggles. It almost looks like choreography. Mm-hmm. So I think that when people go out and they watch these players, it's just really beautiful, the tempo at which they move, because it's all individual to them, but there's a consistency to it and a rhythm to it that falls outside of just the golf swing.
Sometimes when I watch Ricky, I notice, especially Ricky, I feel like he's moving in slow motion.
Yeah.
Like they take so much time.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have the patience to be a professional golfer.
Yeah, those are things that we could tell ourselves to, not chase our dreams, but sometimes you don't ever just ask yourself what if.
Yeah.
You don't ask yourself what if.
I mean, I asked myself if I was I would have to go back to being 15 years old, and I would have to live my high school years a lot differently, because I think I threw out a lot of talent. But I think what we're doing now is pretty damn good. You're gonna get to hit all these shots in the 15.5 hole challenge. I think it worked out pretty well for you.
We're getting the best of both worlds.
I appreciate it. Good stuff, my friend.
Did you see a little strategic hand wipe there?
No, I didn't.
It was a hot one.
It was hot. I was there.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was a hot day.
It was a hot, humid one down there in Sawgrass. So my sweaty hands. It's actually not that funny. It's called hypohidrosis. It's a condition. It is funny.
I was just wiping my hands while it was going on because I'm up next.
Yeah, you are up next, but not until we tell them a little bit more about the 15.5 challenge. So for more information on how to watch the challenge live, it's coming up, or to get tickets for the Travelers Championship, visit travelerchampionship.com. Like you said, Ben, you're up next. Golfers wearing clothes. Let's go.
My first two favorite golfers wearing clothes are Dan Rappaport and Roger Steele, because I love that Manors fit that you had on that day. We were almost wearing the same thing.
We were.
And Roger's a Lululemon guy. They've been putting out some really great stuff. And
he wears the clothes. Roger's a guy where, you know, one of the things, a secret about looking good in clothes, if you have a nice figure, as they say, you're going to look better in clothes.
Yeah.
All right, we're with Roger.
Whoa, what the heck is that? Oh, they wanted to show it back.
They wanted to bring the fits up.
Yeah, they're good fits.
Also, everything Roger said just sounds like it's written by a poet. So,
yeah.
Well done, guys. Golfers wearing clothes. A familiar face is going to kick us off this week. His name's Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay.
He was wearing this shade of like gray brown that I really, really like. You don't see a ton of it on tour, but what I really wanted to point out was the texture on his polo and the lack of button.
Yeah.
Did you know, Dan, they make polos without buttons?
Yeah, Manors has them. I wore one today.
You don't all have to have a 5-button placket. I know I talk about that all.
I think it looks kind of athletic. It's a nice look. It almost looks like a soccer jersey.
It is, and it's one you can wear to the bar after. It's the old boardroom to the bar.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice.
Next up, opposite end of the spectrum. So this is the first time I think we've had a winner on Golfers Wearing Clothes. JT Poston on Saturday was wearing one of my favorite polos in the game. It's Johnny O's original polo. Now, why is it called original? Well, Johnny O first came out with their shirts. They were 100% cotton shirts. And as you know, like we've gone into the age of polyester. Johnny O still makes a 95% cotton, 5% elastane shirt. It's their original. It's one of my favorites. It's got the 4 buttons, so it's a long placket. JT set himself up on moving day pretty nicely in that shirt.
So what I'll say about the cotton shirts is, look, if it's 98 degrees in Florida and it's humid, a cotton shirt's not going to work. But if it's like 80 degrees and it fits well and it's a little bit loose, I think we've been, dare I say, gaslit a little bit into thinking that you always need to wear. Sometimes if something fits a little bit like bigger and it breathes more than a tight polyester stretchy fabric shirt.
Totally agree. And sometimes when you look back at old photos of like Arnie, he wasn't wearing a polyester shirt necessarily in the 50s, and there'd be some like sweat stains on the shirt, and they look kind of cool. It's like not that bad of a look to show that it's an outdoor sport.
It's outdoor sport. Things happen. All right, who's next?
Next up, our old friend Alexander Schauffele.
Nice.
Now, this camera angle is just great for him. Like straight on, dead on. You can see the lines of his clothes show.
Yeah, and he's cinching in his waist.
Cinching in the waist. But I love these Deschamps zipper polos, the zipper front. You know, we just talk a lot about plackets on the last two guys. I'm still calling for more zipper polos, zipper fronted polos on the PGA Tour. And then the white pants rule comes into effect.
It's a nice look there from Alexander.
Next up is Ricky Fowler, who is deploying camo in a way that I think you should. You know how I say, like, when you wear something wild, everything else should be, like, kind of toned down? That doesn't mean it doesn't have to be interesting. This green Puma shirt that he wore, and I think JJ Spawn also wore it at one point this week. Gary Woodland probably also wore it this week. It pairs really nicely with the camo. Obviously, the green to green is a good thing, but you can see that the hat pops without being, like, loud and obnoxious here.
Yeah.
So, and a little bit of touch on the shoe there with camo, so it's a nice way to bring it all together.
Ties it together.
Okay, last but not least, a personal story here. So we went up to our friend Alex Noren on the range.
We did?
And we asked him, what the hell have you been wearing out there on the golf course? I said, are you wearing a Satisfy running t-shirt, which is like a cool guy running brand, like a lot of like New York run clubs are probably like outfitted in
Brooklyn
Satisfy
Run
running.
Club, yeah.
Here's Alex Noren wearing what he told us he was wearing, which is a Satisfy running t-shirt with a polo collar sewed on the inside of the t-shirt. If you look closely there, you can see it kind of like coming out very unnaturally. That's because he or someone on his team did that himself. Talk about dedication to wanting to wear a garment. All it needed was a polo collar. All it needed was a collar to be legal.
He fucking loves that t-shirt.
He did it. I've never seen him not wearing like this thing.
He must love that t-shirt. It must be like his, everyone's got like a favorite t-shirt. That's got to be his.
Imagine going out and being able to play in a workout t-shirt.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
It'd be pretty comfortable.
Be really nice.
All right. Now, before we move on to the bad, I want to give some shout outs to the ladies at Riv.
Please
because,
do.
There were some really well-dressed ones out there this week. And I'm going to highlight two of my favorites. There were way more than this. But first of all, Danielle Kang wore a pair of pants that you can buy for $22 on Amazon.
Those went kind of viral.
They did. Our own Nicole Ray wrote an article about it. She ordered them. As soon as she saw this on Getty, she ordered them. Great thing about Amazon, they were at her door the next day.
Yeah.
And she wrote a little piece about how much she liked them. Now, she said they were a little bit too progressive for her. She's more of a traditional dresser on the golf course. But I would say that men, women alike, like, go for this kind of pant on the golf course if you can. I think the thing about the difference in the genders here is that, like, if Jason Day wore those pants, like, all the men in golf are like, don't wear that shit.
Yeah.
When Danielle Kang wears those, all the women are like, I need those right now.
Well, we've talked about how, like, I think it's a little bit easier for women to dress on the golf course because men, it's like you got to wear a polo and you got to wear pants. Whereas we've also talked about this. I do the laundry in our house.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll pick up a garment of Emma's. I'm like, what is this? Is this a shirt?
That's confusing. That's a confusing thing.
But I'm saying like women can play with it a little bit more, and I think they do a really good job of
The
it.
sandbox has more toys in it for
Yes.
them. I would definitely say.
Well
so.
put.
Speaking of, this might be the best dressed golfer on the planet.
You've been saying this. I know.
Nina Kim Shad. I think that's how you say her first name.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nelly, but
No.
that's really fresh.
No, I mean, this is. I said to Andy before the show, I think. The statue probably winked at her when she walked by.
It's a very Hogan-esque look.
It's a Hogan-esque look. The pleats, the belt, but look how long the pants are. They're not just wide. They're not cropped at the ankle. That you've never seen this before. They're spilling over her ankles. The Argyle cardigan, the neckerchief. She's not wearing a polo. She has a collar turned up because it's technically a collar, but then she's got a neckerchief underneath of there. A summer scarf, if you will.
That's someone who takes pride in their outfits.
That's someone who thought about every single thing that they put on, and we need way more of that in golf, if you ask me.
Okay.
So that is the end of our good.
Brings us into the bad.
Let's go into the bad. Couple duos on the list. Tommy Fleetwood's back.
Yeah, the hat, man. I feel like
You knew that was coming.
Well, because he wears the white with the black, the white hat with the black, or the black hat with the white. It's like
It's usually a white with the black box on it. I think that this is two different guys getting dressed. I think there's a guy that has to put a Blackstone hat on, and then there's a guy that thinks about what he's building underneath of it. It's Jekyll and Hyde. Like, there's just nothing he can do.
a hat can make or break an outfit. Oh, it can break an outfit. I don't know if it can make an outfit. It can definitely break an outfit.
It could definitely break an outfit if Tommy didn't dress so well underneath of it.
Yeah.
He finishes the job. So
Okay.
that's why I respect him. Ricky also made the no list because he wore a now infamous sweatshirt. Out there. I think Gary Woodland was our last guy
it just
wearing
looks
this.
sweaty, but not in the cool like Arnold.
Yeah, you
Palmer way.
can't fabricate the outdoor sport of it all. You got to let the sweat come through.
Yeah.
So I didn't love that from Ricky. And then last but not least, another surprise for you here, Dan. Hideki Matsuyama wore this shirt every day.
Favorite dresser.
Well, he went away from the classic
The Gatorade back.
Strixon, and he's got this like unintentional, unnecessary stripe thing happening across. If he had just worn these colors and solids all week, he would have made the good list. But great pink shirt, unnecessary feature through the middle. That's going to get you on the bad list. Last but not least,
Archive.
our archive piece for the week. So the archive doesn't fall in good or bad. It's purgatory.
Just is.
So here's your Rorschach test on whether you think this is good or bad. But Jesper Parnevik playing in what was then the Bell Canadian Open, now the RBC Canadian Open. You're saying good? I'm also saying good.
Should be Canadian Open. Should be Canadian Open presented by Bell and Canadian Open presented
It will be
by
someday.
RBC. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Touch wood, Dan Brown. Jesper did this when nobody else was really taking any risks. They were all just wearing wild shit that their sponsors were giving them. Like, who else looking like a mid-aughts ska band leader out there on the golf course?
I was going to say, I feel like it's like when I think of James Bond playing golf, that's kind of what I feel like he would be wearing.
I feel like I'm staring at Jason Mraz right now.
Jason Mraz,
But
like 2004, pop music.
Early aughts. But I respect the move from Jesper. And as you know, he's now a Melbourne guy. So he's moved into the streetwear icon legend status.
Jesper Parnevik's kind of a legend.
That's how you get there.
Sneaky ledge. He would have been great for your last week dog race. Remember these guys? Jesper Parnevik would have been a great one.
He's maybe too present with
might be too present. This guy who we're about to talk to is very present. We got Grant Horvat on the show, YouTube megastar. Grant doesn't do a whole lot of these like big sit down interviews, so we're grateful that he came on our show. And actually, why don't you like and subscribe to our show so you can support us so we can get more great interviews like this one with Grant Horvat. We're gonna leave you with this interview. We are going to be back here on Monday. We're going to be on Sunday for the watch along. You're not going to be there.
I won't be.
You're heading to New York. Safe travels.
Thank you.
When are you leaving?
Tomorrow morning.
What are you doing this weekend?
I have a wedding. My friend Ryan and Rachel are getting married.
Where at?
Friends Ryan and Rachel are getting married. At I don't know what the name of the team is, but whatever minor league baseball game happens in Coney Island, they're going to get married at the game.
That's cool.
It's going to be really fun.
That is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So then when are you heading out to Shinnecock?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
All right. So I will be doing the Monday show alone. I'm going to be doing the watch along alone.
I'll zoom in on Monday.
You'll zoom in on Monday. You'll be here on Monday. And then we're going to head to Shinnecock. We're going to do the Wednesday show from Shinnecock. Then I'm going to come back and do shows pretty much every day for all of you. So like and subscribe to support that as well.
They got a nice spot for us at Shinnecock.
We got a good spot at Shinnecock. We had a great spot at Oakmont.
We did.
Our friends at the USGA, my favorite major. I've said it before. I'll say it again with my chest. But yeah, it's a good time to catch up with Grant. They just launched the Your Golf Tour. He had the near miss in the queue. He just played in the BMW Charity Pro-Am, the Corn Ferry Pro-Am event, and it's always good to just pick this guy's brain. So I'll see you back on Sunday for the watch along. Enjoy our interview with Grant Horvat.
Wow, y'all get into this quick.
I mean, do you want us to butter you up? Do you want
No, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I figure you're a busy man. We'll hop right into it.
Come on now.
First time that someone has said, I was in church. We haven't had that on the show yet. And I'm curious, as you've had more and more success, you get more and more famous, whatever you want to, what word you want to use. Does your faith sort of keep you grounded?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think our message today was actually on pride. And I think it's easy to get prideful if things are going good in your life. And think that you're the man and stuff. And so I think constantly reminding yourself, humility, it's just good. And yeah, my faith is the most important thing to me. So yeah, always going to church when I can make it. It's not as easy when you're on the road, but being able to go and just, go with my wife and stuff and just be in that environment it's so helpful.
How you been? You been traveling, you were saying? Where you been?
Yeah, I just got done playing in the BMW Charity Pro-Am. Struggled bad. Yeah, I've been fishing too much. I think this is the issue I'm realizing right now with my golf game. I've been just, my golf game always goes like this. And it's interesting with YouTube, with what we do. We post a video and it could have been 2 months ago and people think I'm playing bad right now, but that was 2 months ago. So you never know how I'm actually playing. But since I got the boat, I used to go practice, but if it's nice out now and the weather's good, I'm going on the boat. And so there's an issue there.
Didn't I remember you saying you were really into fishing as a young, that's kind of what got you into YouTube? Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember I bought a GoPro back in college years ago and I wanted to be a fishing YouTuber and I posted one video and gave up. And so, yeah, but I had the vision. I was like, something with YouTube.
How do you decide? I mean, you said that you might film a video and it comes out months later. Do you go in order or do you sit down? If you film a video and then you film another video, will that first video come out and the video comes out after? Or sometimes we move it around depending on the news cycle. How do you order these things?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think if you film with, let's say, Minwoo Lee, if Minwoo Lee, he was in second place. Minwoo was in second place at the PGA. And I remember I started talking with Sky and I was like, if he wins this, we got to turn this around and get it out quick. Because you want to get it out. It's relevant. Minwoo just won. He didn't end up doing that. And so we just held on to it a little longer. There was no rush to get it out. But yeah, I think the big thing with getting videos out is I don't want them to feel like they're outdated and old. So if I don't want to hold on to a video for a long time, if I switched, if I switch putters, if I switch clubs or something, I don't want it to feel outdated. So we try and get our content out as quick as possible. But right now, we've been holding on to Shinnecock. You've probably seen all the videos coming out from that course, and we did a major cut there. There's something crazy that happens. I can't spoil it yet, but it was an awesome video. And it's funny, everybody else, this happened the previous year at Oakmont. They have the media days at the US Open, and everybody's already posted their video. And we wait. We hold on to the video until the week of the US Open, because that's when everyone's talking about it the most.
Yeah, I guess everyone just kind of gets so excited. They just fire away. But it does make more sense to everyone's going to be talking about Shinnecock next week. So you might as well hold on to it.
We could be wrong. Our strategy could be wrong, but it worked last year at Oakmont. Yeah, everybody posted their video last year. They got it out and maybe they're excited. Maybe they're rushing to be the first one to post it. I actually view it as if all the media, if everyone on Instagram is talking about Shinnecock, it's US Open week. Everyone's talking about the rough, how thick it is, how hard it is. And then you post a video, it's everyone's mind is already there. So that is a big thing. But yeah, we're holding on to that video that's coming out next week.
You've grown so much and you continue to grow. And I've, on a scale that's a lot different than yours, but, I struggle with, I feel like when stuff goes well, the goalposts just move. And, you feel like, I always have this conversation, with my wife who tries to tell me that everything's good and okay.
Yeah.
That if you told 25-year-old me that I've been doing what I've been doing now, I would think, I'll just be so happy and content and satisfied. But that's not. I'm a lot older than 25, by the way. But that's not how it goes. You reach a new benchmark. You look to new things, and I'm curious for you if you feel, satisfied is kind of a tricky word, or do you feel like you get to one milestone and it moves to the next milestone, and how you kind of deal with that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I think that's human nature, to always. I think it's a good thing if it's kept under control. I think that's where also, like we were talking about in the beginning, that's where my faith comes into play. I feel like if I didn't have that, I'd just be the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And it would just, it's like chasing the wind. I mean, you're never going to stop doing it. It's meaningless. I think it's great to have aspirations. I think it's great to want to be great at what you do and keep getting the next big video. But there comes a point in which if it's affecting you and you're not getting that next video and you're not content, then obviously there's something internally that you have to deal with there. So I feel like, yeah, my faith for me is very important with that. Now, it doesn't change the fact that I'm ultra motivated and ultra competitive, and I really want to get the next big video. Like, I'm 24/7. We're thinking about it. I mean, right now, I know we'll talk about it, but like, we have our tour coming up, the launch of everything. And like, yeah, we're all locked in right now. And we are like, the thought of that tour and why that came about was to keep pushing the needle. Like, we can't just keep doing the same videos. You can't just keep filming with the same people and doing the same thing. You have to keep pushing the needle. And the tour was pushing the needle for us. And so, yeah, there's that thing you deal with. But I mean, yeah, it's endless for sure.
When you post a video, do you have a rule where it's like, I'm not checking for 24 hours, or do you sit on like YouTube Golf Studio or YouTube Studio and like you live check? Oh
no, I'm checking it. Yeah.
I feel like that's got to be like, the cortisol has got to be going crazy in that moment.
Yeah, dude, I've had to deal with that. Like, that is actually, you put so much effort and time into videos, and sometimes they just don't work and they don't pan out. And the weird part about like the YouTube Studio and YouTube in general is, if a video is not performing how you want it to, and it's a good video, you immediately, if you're into the art of YouTube, you go to the title and thumbnail and you start thinking about how you can make it better immediately. Because I've had videos where they've been a 10 out of 10 to start out, and terrible click-through rate. And I'm sitting there in the studio, we're all kind of just like, oh man, this video's not doing what we expected. And we changed the thumbnail like, a couple days later in the title, and you just see it go like this on the graph, and it starts to pick up. Jackson Koiven, for example, did a video with him. It started out super slow. I did not love the thumbnail and title, and Sky cooked up something awesome. And we flipped it, and it went from a 10 out of 10 to now like a 2 or 3. And it's just gone crazy. So that's also an interesting thing to deal with, because you always think, no matter what with YouTube, you can always make a better thumbnail and title. And so even if the concept, or even if the video is not performing well, you still think that there's something left in the tank. So that's also a dangerous cycle.
All right, so let's talk about the tour. Obviously, there's been other things like this, the Creator Classic, the Internet Invitational. What is it about your golf tour? What is the key for this to be successful?
I think there's a lot of keys, but I think one of the main keys is having the people that we have a part of this tour. I think that the audience getting bought into the actual team element. There is a team element. There are captains. And I feel like, to a degree, that this tour is combining a lot of different elements. I don't think it's like a normal tour. You're going to see behind the scenes, like when we wake up in the morning and we're strategizing as a team who we're going to send out. Like, you're seeing behind the scenes stuff that you've never seen anywhere else. And I think that's what's so different, because it is ultra competitive. There's a lot of money on the line. Everybody wants to play well, but you're also getting an inside look into what we're going through as captains and a team, who we're going to send out, the strategy. And I think that's what's so different from anything out there. Like, I always, Liv obviously had the team element. And I think that there's just, I think the team element does work. I really do. I just think it's interesting how you have to do it to make it work right, and people really get bought into it.
Well, if you're looking for, a wild card who's a little outside the YouTube golf space, but still kind of in the golf world, I keep my sticks on me.
Come on. Hey, you never know. The wild cards. Hey, we already filmed the first one, and the wild card aspect of this is probably the best part. It's one of the most. I would say collectively, out of all the captains and everyone that came together, we were probably the most proud of the wild card aspect because it was so cool. I'm not going to say who I brought. That's always a surprise. It's cool to see who you bring, but they can make or break the entire event for you. Like if your wild card doesn't play good, you're not going to have a good team. So it is very important.
Well, I'm a club champion now, so I've closed.
Dude, you beat me in the Myrtle Beach. You waxed me in the queue, dude.
Just saying.
I remember that, and I still think about that. How bad you beat me.
Let's talk about the queue. You were so close. That was a tough watch. What'd you learn about yourself as a competitor in that moment?
Well, there's a lot of emotions going on. You actually caught me at the right time right now to like talk about it because it's enough time has passed. But I
wasn't going to do it the week after, you know.
No, yeah, for sure. And I was riding in the same cart as Ryan. Obviously, getting off to the start that I got off to, making 4 birdies in a row. I had a 4-shot lead on everybody after 4 holes. Everyone else was even. So, you know the thoughts that go through your head that it's like, this is yours to lose. That's the only thought going through my head. And I really did. Like, I felt like I hung in there. The course, there was some really tricky holes out there. But the fact that, it came down to me and Ryan on the final hole, even though it was unfortunate, I did hit it in the water. It was just a bad shot. I really wasn't too nervous. I was actually feeling really confident in that moment. Pulled it left into the water. I think for me, what I really take away from that entire Myrtle Beach queue and losing it, I was so happy for Ryan that he was actually able to play in the PGA Tour. You guys, he was tied for the lead at one point.
Yeah, the lead at one point. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was just really happy with the way it all panned out because Ryan is somebody that has chased the dream and he has gone through the struggles. He has lived out of his car. He was saying, he's done so many things. He struggled through the pro grind. I don't know if he lived out of his car. That might've been wrong, but he's gone through the pro grind. And for a guy like him, like he has a story. When he gets interviewed by the PGA Tour after, he has something to like really talk about in the grind and the struggle. Personally, I haven't chased that. And I haven't gone through the struggles of trying to be a pro golfer. That's never been the goal of mine. And so, I was just really happy for him. I love Ryan. And yeah, I was just at the end. Yeah, we just had a great time together. And since that moment, I feel like, we've become good friends. And yeah, it was just really cool to watch him play in the PGA Tour event.
So if you were playing, would you have been able to film it the way you wanted? Because that was the sticking point with the other invite.
Yeah, to be honest, Dan, I don't know. I didn't even. There was some thoughts going through my head on 18 about if I do win this, what am I about to say to the PGA Tour media, because they were there on the green waiting for us. So there were some thoughts going through my head. What am I going to say? Because yeah, of course I want to film it. I don't think Ryan Ruffles filmed it though.
No, they did do like a documentary thing where he was mic'd up and stuff, but it wasn't like what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think personally, if I would have won that queue, I would have for sure played in it and I would have been okay without filming it just because of how
because it was like happened through the queue, like it was through the YouTube world.
Yeah. And personally, I felt like I would have earned like beating those guys, beating George, beating Quan, beating all those guys. Ryan Ruffles, if I were to do that, I feel like at that moment, I would have said, all right, we're not going to film this and I'm still going to play. But yeah.
So we're dancing around it now. You're going to play in a PGA Tour event soon. It's going to.
I don't know about that. And nothing's been said since then. But yeah. If another opportunity like this happens next year and we do win it, that would be cool. But yeah, I just played in the BMW Charity Pro-Am. Like that was really cool. It felt like I was playing in a big event. And I'm telling you, I've never been treated that good in my life. I was just treated.
That's like the premiere of like Korn Ferry event from.
Yeah, I was Mike McGovern and everybody at the BMW. Like I have never been treated that well. Like I'm telling you, we had a Navy SEAL as our driver, and he picked us up, and they flew us there. It was the most incredible experience. And like the whole week, you know, you have this bodyguard, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this is not how I live my life. Like I'm good. Like I was trying to tell him, like, you know, these Navy SEALs and like the guys that do this, like they're locked in, like they're looking around at everybody, and they're like, yeah, like they take nobody. You know, everybody's out to get me, and so I feel like, yeah, it was interesting trying to tell them, like, hey, like. We would go like to dinner, and they'd be like, do you need me to come in? And like, I'm like, no, dude, I'm good. Like, trust me. I don't need, like, this is not how I live my life. Like, we're all good. But the fact that you know, you have this driver and you get treated like that, it was unbelievable. And crazy story last year. This was actually a funny story. I think I told this before. But last year I had a SEAL as my driver. He was a different guy, super nice guy. And we got in late, and he picked us up at the airport, and we go to the Airbnb that we're staying at. We're staying with our friends this week. And right before we get to the driveway, he asks us, he goes, do you want me to clear the house for you? And I'm like, I was so tired. It was like 11:30 at night. I was like trying to grab my bags out. You know, I'm kind of tired. And I'm like, I don't even remember if I responded. And I think he goes, like, before we even respond, he's already like busted the door open, somehow got in the house, and he had no idea. But my buddy, Andrew Kozan, who was my partner that week, was asleep upstairs with his wife, and they had their baby. And he opens up the door. He's got his gun, flashlight, everything, like clearing this house, thinking that there's nobody there, because I forgot to tell him that my friends are already there. Like, I was just trying to get my bags out. Like, I wasn't even thinking. And you hear him yelling down to us. It was the most absurd thing. And I remember talking to Andrew and his wife after that. They had a flashlight. They woke up out of a deep sleep to a flashlight pointed at them. And he's like yelling at them because he has no idea who they are. But it was a wild story. We still talk about it to this day. But yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, like a guy like that, like you don't mess around with.
Yeah, it's like you're the president. You filmed with so many tour players, Scotty aside. I mean, the guys that you would sort of suspect as an answer to this question. Which tour players maybe impressed you the most that most people wouldn't think?
Impressed me the most. Now, when you say impressed, is that personality or is that golf game?
Golf game.
Golf game. Okay. I'm going to pick from a few, but because there's impressive aspects of a lot of the different guys. And first off, I do want to say this, that I have had the best experience filming with the pros, like the 5 Under Challenge. Everybody has been amazing. Like, I've never had any bad instances. Like, it's been so fun. And that's really cool. Like, that's a lot of different personalities, a lot of different guys. I would say one of the most impressive. So there's 3 different people, I would say, or 4. You have Jon Rahm, who's one of the most impressive top to bottom. Like, unbelievable. Like,
the way he drives it is insane.
Yeah, he drives it great, but he does everything great. Jon Rahm has like no weaknesses. He's the one guy where it's like, it just feels like if his game's like, if he's just on, it feels like nothing can go wrong. Like, if he plays Silverleaf, he shoots low 60s just about every time he goes out. It's just like on cruise control, just a whole nother level. So Jon Rahm's unbelievable. I would say Phil Mickelson's short game was one of the coolest things that I've got to spend time around. He took me to his house and we would go to his short game area. He has an insane short game facility that got finished. Yeah. Like, it's legit. And, you know, I spent an hour with him just working on little touchy shots. And I mean, it's just Phil helping me. It's like, and I'm watching him hit these shots and I'm just like, I just don't know how he does it. I still don't. Like, I'm still trying to do it and I can't. Like, I don't even know how he does some of the stuff he does. So that's so impressive from the short game. Jon Rahm, top to bottom. And then I'd say Tommy Fleetwood, from a robotic sense. I always said he's literally like a robot. Tommy Fleetwood, to me, just watching him just operate and like when he's over the ball and how he swings, it just feels like he never misses a shot. Tommy Fleetwood.
I feel like also like the fact that he has the 3/4 like cutoff finish with his irons makes it look more robotic. Like he always stops it in the same spot.
Yeah, but it's even like the way he like grips everything is just like so steady. Like nothing moves. It's like one of those machines. And he just doesn't miss the center of the face. It's just, he's unbelievable to watch. Last one I'll say, there's a lot of different, like, it's so hard for me to pick one, but I'll say Justin Thomas was somebody that I just loved watching his golf game growing up. He's one of my favorite golfers. And so getting to film with JT was really, really cool. And he was really impressive in a lot of different ways. JT's just, he's so solid. His short game too.
He gave it to you a little bit in that video. I remember that.
Yeah, the final hole, like he called the chip in, and that was electric.
Who's one tour player you haven't filmed with yet that you really want to?
Rory. I want to do a 500 challenge with Rory. Hopefully that happens.
Some tells me that might happen.
Yeah. Of course, Tiger. But another one is like Jordan Spieth. I feel like Jordan Spieth he's really stayed away from the YouTube golf scene, which is fine, but it just makes him more, he's never been seen. So
he's the white whale. He's the white whale.
Yeah. I've seen Bob Does Sports. It was like, I think that was Bob's unicorn was Jordan Spieth too. So it's always, I would say, Jordan Spieth, Rory, those are the two that are like top of my list. But I've been trying with Keegan. Definitely want to do some with Keegan. That'd be a lot of fun. He lives here in Jupiter. Cam Young, potentially him. So a lot of those guys that live here in Jupiter are just, you want to make those happen.
All right, my last question for you. What do you think is the smartest decision you've made for your career so far?
Oh, man. My mind goes to a couple different spots. I would say the smartest decision I've made was betting on myself, going solo. That's for sure the smartest decision I've ever made. But I would also say hiring the right people and having the right team around you is just as important. Because it's one thing going out on your own, but it's another thing having the right people around you. And I would say my managers are both so amazing. And then my videographer, Sky, and having all of the behind the scenes guys are just so incredible. But yeah, like my manager, Josh and Joe, both of my managers, like the ownership agreements in some of the companies that I'm involved in, for Wellness, Primo, Tacomo, like all that stuff has been so amazing to me because that's outside of YouTube. When I got into YouTube, I was thinking to myself, I don't want all of my financial side to come from YouTube. I don't want to only make money from that. I want to have things that are outside of YouTube. And so having the right team to, present your value and pitch you is so important. So my team and betting on myself.
Well, that's the stuff that can I don't want to say outlive you, but if you decide that you want to spend some more time on the boat, and you don't want to film as many videos, you still have ownership stake in those companies.
Exactly. I was thinking about that too, Dan. I really do think about how can I fish more. That's where my mind's been recently. It's a bad place to be, but I need to start practicing. Like I gotta get back to actually really focusing on my golf game because it's been a lot of spearfishing.
All right, I lied. This is the last question. How many people, you do a big video, you get a big tour pro, you do a 500 challenge. How many people work on that video?
2.
That's it.
2.
Still.
It used to just be 1. This used to be Sky. Now we have Jalen, and he's awesome.
You won't bring on an agency, like you keep it all in-house.
All in-house. Yeah, I don't want. The thing is, there could be a third person with graphics. If there's an animation in the intro, we'll outsource that. That's it though. But that doesn't happen every video.
Because so, you want to, there's a style, you want to keep it consistent.
Yeah. And Sky's also like, he's just as picky as I am. And he cares just the same amount as I do. Like he's just as involved. He cares more. Like it's just, he knows everything. And so I trust him so much that I've gotten to the point where I don't really even proof watch the videos. So I trust him that much. So if he wants to, if there's something that, gets left in.
Guy's got a lot of power,
Yeah, he does. He's got a lot of power, man. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate the time so much, my friend. Thank you so much. Again, if you're ever looking for a wild card, I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'm ready.
Dan, that actually... Sneaky. You've been in front of the camera. That's a huge advantage. I'm
ready to go, man.
If you're bringing a wild card and they're nervous, Like they're already like you can't be. You gotta just get into the fire.
I'm ready to go. You let me know. I appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan.